This just isn't profitable for me anymore. I've been suppressed by the algorithm forever.
Why do you think he actually failed? A combination of reasons. In the red pill spaces, this was exemplified when I was talking to Sneeko.
Red flag number 3, she had a 6-year-old. She was 19 years old. I want you to be honest with me. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep up the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. Dude, I went to her bathroom, I puked, I was back in her clutches. It was all downhill from there. Guys, this story gets so much worse, and I borrowed $800.
Oh no. What is this? How's our boy doing?
Before I get started here, I've sort of come to a decision. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. But it's been fairly clear for a while that this just isn't profitable for me anymore. Kind of a tough pill to swallow, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not.
Give a lore recap for a viewer. He's just a loser red pill guy who lies about everything he does and is kind of gross.
I mean, I've been suppressed by the algorithm forever. I mean, I'm never gonna crack 173,000 subscribers. I've been 173,000 subscribers forever, guys. I'm not getting to 174. I'm not getting to 200. I'm not getting to 250. You know, I mean, I've tried literally everything. I've tried everything, guys. I've tried changing up my content. I've tried this. I've tried that, and it just hasn't worked. And I'm tired of spinning my wheels. I remember when I hit 100,000 subscribers. I mean, I was on the rise. I was, you know.
Is this the guy who does the what she's actually saying videos? Yes, the guy who does these skits.
Honey, I'm off to work. How do I look?
Looking good, hot stuff.
And how do I smell?
Like an oasis of feminine effervescence.
You like my hair?
As always.
Thanks, honey. You always make me feel like $1,000,000.
That's my girl.
Okay, I'm off to work. I'll see you when I get home. Hey, I'm home.
Pardon my language here, baby, but...
What the is going on here?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
What you just witnessed was the sloppy work seconds.
All of these
Hey,
are so.
that's
All of these are so good.
Street outlaws tonight.
Street outlaws?
Yeah, it's about illegal street racing in Oklahoma City.
Okay. What you listening to?
Sean Paul.
If your woman's interests, beliefs, and preferences just all of a sudden change out of the blue,
Then a man who shares these new interests of hers has her sexual attention.
modern women rarely have their own steadfast beliefs, interests, or habits.
They believe what the strongest men in their lives believe.
Law number 41 of the 49 Laws of Sharpe states,
She rarely has her own beliefs. She usually believes what the strongest man in her life believes.
any man who keeps this in mind and pays attention
Will drastically reduce his odds of getting sucker punched by his woman's infidelity.
I love their wedding vows.
This would be a red pill wedding because everybody I saw in the audience was just dude.
All right, guys. Welcome to our wedding. This is going to be a very sort of informal thing. There is no what do they call it? An officiant? Pastor. Yeah, I'm the officiant. Okay.
The reason why they don't have an officiator is because red pill people don't believe in marriage. They think that it's a scam, and that any guy that gets married to a woman, she's just gonna steal all your alimony and everything. Even though all these guys are broke anyway. So red pillars always say don't get married.
That's family and friends. Because I don't care how cringy and red pill you are, there is no way your family and friends would clap at that kind of speech. I think this guy paid people to be in the audience.
All right. Yeah, gas me up.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Each day, when we wake up, we choose womanhood. You have taught me that the rent is due every day and not to take things for granted.
The rent is due every day and to not take things for granted.
This is good. Stop. You can shut this off.
Each day, when we wake up, we choose womanhood. You have
You agree that the guy should probably never get married, right? Seems like a lose-lose. What? No, of course you should. If you want a person to start making big sacrifices for you, like if you're gonna have a child with somebody, you should absolutely get married. The woman's prerogative absolutely is to get married, and you should want to get married too, 100%.
taught me that the rent is due every day and not to take things for granted. A healthy garden takes watering, pruning, and attention in order to flourish. Thank you for demanding the best in me always. I promise to stand beside you, walk behind you, and be a reliable source of peace for you.
Promise to stand beside you, to walk behind you, and to be a reliable source of peace for you. Okay, that's nice words. I like that.
I promise to show you my love through my actions, words, and thoughts. Together our lives are great, and the sky is the limit. I love you, and I'm happy to be your girl. Yo-yo.
Go birds, baby. Cindy, it's been a hell of a ride. And the way we met was very unorthodox. Our relationship is very unorthodox.
In which cases should a long-term relationship not get married? I mean, if you don't want to deal with any of the bullshit, make sure you check out the common law rules in your state. But I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. But if the woman is going to start making huge sacrifices, then the protections that marriage provides are essential. Any guy that, if you're a woman and a guy tells you that like he doesn't believe in marriage and he wants to have kids, that's like the biggest red flag in the world. That's the same as him being like a rapist or a fucking murderer. Like just run as far and as fast as you can.
Orthodox. You're wearing a wedding ring now because
if you're both planning on continuing to work and you just split expenses and shit, then I guess you don't really ever have to get married.
Our relationship is very unorthodox. You're wearing a wedding ring now because
I found out you were a single mom, and I still got with you, even though I think getting with single moms is a waste of time. And I've been lying to everyone about the fact that you're a single mom. It's been a wild ride. It's crazy.
You did.
How much you've been lying about who you are and what you've done, your age, everything else, because you're actually much older than I originally claimed. But I lied because I have an image to maintain.
Because, well, there you go. You've been wearing it for 7.5 years. But, like I said, I bring out the best in you. But you made me happy. You really do. I was happy before you.
I like how it started with you, I bring out the best in you. It sounded like he was about to compliment her, and he went, no.
And then it doesn't.
I make you better, stupid.
I was happy before you, and if you and I decide to part ways for whatever reason, I'll be happy without you.
Why?
I don't care what nobody says. There's never a day in life where you can convince me this is not the most loserish shit ever. You want to love?
I completely disagree with what you said. I don't know how much thought was behind what you said. What? Why is the divorce rate so high? I don't know. People get divorced. They don't like each other anymore.
Share these kind of weird vows, and that's fine. Doing this for content, doing a Q&A afterwards, doing vows where you're essentially like, yo, I was happy before you, and I'm going to be happy after you. It's like, holy
But
shit.
I'm happy about the way you made me happy because I made you. That's crazy. That's a crazy bar. That's a crazy bar.
I'm not even saying don't get married. I'm confused as to why that has to be the thing that makes a relationship serious versus the relationship itself. I don't think you needed to be serious. I don't give a fuck about marriage personally. But if you're going to have a child with somebody, or if you're going to ask somebody to make huge sacrifices in their career financially, they need some kind of like assuredness or some kind of like commitment from the guy to make sure that their life isn't going to be fucking destroyed if you guys end up splitting up. I think marriage is a really important protection for whoever's going to make sacrifices in a relationship for the betterment of the combined relationship.
And so, by the power vested in me, I pronounce us man and wife.
Did he say man?
What kind of sacrifices might one make outside of kids? You sacrifice your career, you sacrifice working years in your life, so huge earning potentials and like some level of autonomy and independence. Women are usually more harshly impacted by divorces than men are when you look at chances to get into a new relationship, whoever is burdened with the responsibility of childcare afterwards, and then whoever is more financially burdened afterwards. Like generally, you just get fucked, and that's even if you are married. Yeah, if somebody's saying they want to have a kid with you and they don't even want to get married to you, that's like, holy shit. You're asking for a huge... That's a huge commitment.
Did he say that?
Yeah. Because he's a man.
Because he doesn't want to be a husband?
No. Because that would be simpish. That's logic.
No, but if that's your wife, then you're her husband. I don't even understand that.
No.
Really, really cool to have to be financially successful, but it's much, much sweeter when you have someone like you to share it with. And so, by the power vested in me, I pronounce us man and wife.
Clap up. How about majority of people who aren't religious? Nothing I just said had anything to do with religion, my friend.
I guess we'll take questions from the audience. We're going to do 10 minutes of questions, then we're going to...
It's a skit. It's a skit. No questions at the end of your wedding? Anybody got questions? Yo, when is the last time you banged? Other question. Is she going to be your only one? No.
I think this is his viewers. I think this is an event he runs for his viewers.
Probably. That I can get behind that. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I will say this is innovative. I have never heard of a wedding with a Q&A. But in this content-driven world, even this is not surprising. I mean, if y'all niggas hate marriage so much, then just don't do it. I don't understand this. Like, okay, jokes aside and laughing at how stupid this guy looks. Like, Redpill dudes complain about marriage all the time. I would never get the state involved, yada, 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 yada. Okay. Then what's the point of y'all getting married? You guys are not getting married in a religious context. You're not getting married in a governmental context. What the fuck? You're not even getting married in front of friends and family to, like, see families united. You're doing this in front of subscribers. What the fuck is the point of this? Are you to announce your wife
What's the point?
to your audience? Just tell her she's your wife and that's it.
Were you married to the chick you had a kid with? I'm not trying to troll you or anything. Just trying to understand where your opinion is coming from. Where my opinion is coming from is literally what I just said. What would my background have anything whatsoever to do with whether or not I was married when I had a kid? How does that influence anything I just said? No, we weren't married because we weren't supposed to have a kid. That was Nathan is the Antichrist, okay? The Mastooks baby, okay? A mistaken oops that I love very much, okay? Unless he becomes a serial killer or does some other dumb shit, in which case, you, Nathan. Do they take down the full video from? I think. Oh yeah, Pearl was there. I don't know if they went over that in this or not. Why do Redpillers hate marriage so much when they like to LARP as religious people? Because they don't like the state being involved. Why did you always say you are open borders and now you suddenly pretend that no one is open borders on Piers Morgan's show? First of all, if I've ever said that I'm open borders, it's like on a highly abstracted level. Generally, having immigration controls is good. You generally want to know who's coming in and out of your country. If I've ever said I'm open borders, I've said it in like a purely abstract, like, well, I think for economic reasons or whatever, if you could do it, like open borders is probably the best thing. But I don't think I've ever said like, yeah, we should be open borders as a country. That's not a serious policy position I've ever had. Also, it wasn't about my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure it had to do with, are there any mainstream Democrats who are actually pushing that opinion? No, you have elaborated on several occasions. Oh, well, my bad, I guess. I must have been super open borders in the past, and I guess I've just forgot it, or please dictate my policy positions more to me.
She dropped the bomb on me. Is
there a single country in the entire world that has open borders? No, I don't think. Well, there might be some failed state, I guess, depending on how technical you get.
She dropped the bomb on me. I said, did you have sex with anybody else by the 10 days we wasn't with each other? She said, yeah, I did. You're a fucking slut. You're a slut. And if it wasn't because of me being a stand-up dude, I would have had you lock her ass up and put her the fuck away. Goddamn, 10 days? 10 days. 10 days you fucking somebody else. 10 days. We stopped talking for 10 days. This wasn't 30, 90 days, 4 or 5 months. This is 10 days. Damn. Boom, boom, boom. That's how fast it happened. Boom.
What?
She dropped.
Hold on. I haven't done these in a while. I haven't done these in like 3 days, okay? I get one. Hold on. I get one. I get one. He could be the brother of. Hold on. My God. A little bit.
Dropped the bomb on me. I said, did you have sex with anybody else by the 10 days we wasn't with each other?
I get this
yeah,
one. I absolutely get this one.
You're a slut. And if it wasn't because of me being a stand-up dude, I would have had you lock her ass up.
For sure.
And put her the fuck away.
I get this one. If I don't get this one, you guys can't be trusted with anything, okay? Oh my God. This might be our biggest W ever. The biggest W ever. Ever. 75, 76, 77%. My God. Hell yes.
Honest to God, I don't think any singular human being legitimately believes this.
Believes
okay?
What?
Let me just say this. Like, I think it's crazy that they put me below, like, they're saying like InfoWars, OAN, and Hasanabi, like 2 sides of the same coin. I'm sorry, dude. If you consider to me, honest to God, I don't think any singular human being legitimately believes this, okay? Let me just say this. I don't think a person actually unironically goes like, Hassan, you are basically like the left-wing equivalent of Alex Jones. Like, I know that like Destiny's community tries to say that all the time, which is kind of funny because I'm literally at the fucking DNC right now.
Hold on. Don't we call him left-wing Steven Crowder? I thought we called him left-wing Steven Crowder more than left-wing Alex Jones. No?
And I have interviewed journalists and politicians who have openly been like, I'm a fan of you, and I love what you're doing. So I think that like puts it into perspective a little bit when you see so many fucking journalists come up and be like, yeah, I love your work. Maybe that puts it into
journalists in big air quotes there.
A little bit of a different framework for a lot of fucking desperate losers online who constantly are like, yo, you're the same as Alex Jones. But like, still, regardless of that equation, okay, the fact that like someone would be like, oh bro, you're the Alex Jones of the left, like, dude, this guy got a $1 billion fucking like defamation suit for directly contributing to the plight of Sandy Hook school shooting victim families. Like, what are you saying? If you can find anything that is like If you can find anything, and I'm being really genuine right now, if you can find anything that is even remotely like anything that is 1/10 as bad as that I have done, hats off to you. 1/10, which would not put me under Alex Jones or under Breitbart. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, ultimately it doesn't really matter because, like I said, this is just like something that people love posting about on Twitter, but that's it. Okay, that's it. Who is the LeBron James are streaming? I am. What is this? Israel ranks #1 new list of non-apartheid countries that are...
Wait, somebody said he mentioned something about suing me. Was that a lie? Did you just say that to get me to click this stupid video?
Fun to visit. Caucasians all over the world has voted Israel as #1 non-apartheid country to visit this summer. Anyway, it's like an Onion article, dude. It's not real, by the way. That's a meme. Do you have thoughts on stuff like Ground to sort articles by bias? Ground News seems fine. I don't really know anything about Ground News in general. I've like never worked with them. I know they sponsor a lot of people, but this is my Ground News. You know what I mean? Like
Twitter. A fascist who's rooting for Trump is Netanyahu. But the Dems seemingly have no issues with sending him endless arms forever under the auspices of Israel's right to defend itself.
You know, and I had some pretty good runs. But just been kind of up and down and yo-yo. But anytime I post a video, I'm losing subscribers. It's just at this point, it really is just kind of useless. It really is just kind of useless to be on YouTube. I mean, I'll be on YouTube, you know. I mean, obviously, if you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna stop being Donovan Sharpe. But I am going to start prioritizing my other businesses because it's getting to the point to where this is just not. It is so time consuming. And it's just not worth the time. It's not worth the time anymore. It's really not. It's not worth the time to prep. It's just not worth it. It's just not. It's not profitable. And listen, man, I mean, a lot of people can say, well, you know, you're doing this. You're supposed to be doing this as a labor of love. Yeah, you know what? Time is money and money is time, guys. My time is valuable to me. Yes, I'm well off financially, but that does not mean that I have to just waste my time, you know. I need to be doing things. Doing things that are going to be making me money on a consistent basis. And and unfortunately, YouTube and Rumble and this whole Donovan.
I thought you just said he had multiple businesses on the side.
Sharp thing, it just no longer does it anymore. Yeah, I mean, listen, is it profitable? Yeah, you know, I'll make a few $1,000s a month, but it's just at this point, guys, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it anymore. Yeah, listen, I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue doing the dating show breakdowns and my podcasts. And
what does he think a labor of love is? What does he think that means?
And all that good stuff. Like I said, I'm never, ever going to go away, but like I'm done trying to gain subscribers. I'm just tired of it. It's gotten to the point. To where it's just no longer profitable. So I'm just going to do this for fun, to be honest with you. I'm going to do this for fun. Pardon me, good Lord. So I'm just gonna do this for fun. I'm not trying to gain subscribers anymore. I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want, man. I'm gonna talk about what the hell I want. I'm gonna continue to bring you guys truths and all that, but this will be the last week. This will be the very last week where I talk about any of my courses, whatever the case may be. I think I'm probably just gonna cut it all off on Sunday. Cut off all my courses. I'm gonna have a big sale. It'll be this week all the way through till Sunday. Listen, you guys, I'm slashing everything. I'm slashing all the prices. Everything is dirt cheap. At some point, I'm just not gonna have. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it anymore. I'm tired of paying for things that just aren't making me any money. And I'm tired of spinning my wheels, man. Doing this is very, 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 very time consuming. It's very, very difficult to do this job very well. And what it comes down to guys, what it really comes down to is that there are things that are outside of my control that ended up really just kind of fucking up my channel. I've got an army of incels that are constantly reporting.
Should have taken me up on that debate.
My channel, listen, Coach Greg Adams just hit 100,000 subscribers on his second channel. He was at this dude was at 80,000, 90 subscribers. He's got 2,800 people watching him. I've got 173,000 subscribers. I barely get over 200. I can't remember the last time I had 300 live viewers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw my weight into what
My
is
other
profitable
businesses?
At this point. And if it's not profitable, I'm not fucking with it. That's just all there is to it. So at any rate, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into today's daily dating show breakdown. When we last left off, Tom left Maria at the altar.
I'm sorry. One more video. Why modern relationships are in the toilet. One more video. Just one more. One second. The $2,000 that I paid Abba and Preach to make the hit piece video on Donovan, I didn't think that would work initially, but I guess it all factored in at the end. There was so much money behind the scenes. People were paying so much money to take Donovan Sharpe down. There was huge bounties on making hit pieces on him and going after his private life. It was insane how many people were coordinating behind this. And then making friends with Edward, that guy at YouTube, his current wife's ex or whatever. Man, the fact that guy can control the algorithm, man. In the end, that was instrumental in taking him down. The only person who was close to cracking the case was Rolo. He definitely was the closest to figuring out the truth behind everything, but...
Candidate meets a company's requirements.
They are trained and then hired temporarily to be evaluated for a certain period of time.
If the candidate successfully completes the training...
Why do you think he actually failed? A combination of reasons. For this, it's a combination of, in the Redpill spaces, every single person that you like has to be a role model for every single part of your life. Everything. Right? This was exemplified when I was talking to Sneeko, and Sneeko was like, why do people even watch Charlie? Why would you want to be him? And it's like, why the fuck? Like, the first thing I'm thinking in my mind is, why would I want to be a person just because I'm watching them? Maybe I just enjoy watching them for some aspect of their personality. It doesn't mean I have to want to be that type of person. So I think a lot of these Red Pillars, whatever content creator you watch, they have to exemplify every single trait that you want in life. Donovan Sharpe clearly doesn't. That's one part. The second part was, I think that the lying about his personal life lost him a lot of credibility. The fact that he married a single mom, which I think is great. If they love each other, that's cool. But then lied about the fact that his stepdaughter? No, daughter-in-law. No, stepdaughter. Stepdaughter, right? Yeah, stepdaughter. The fact that he lied about that girl for so long, saying that was like his niece, and completely misrepresented the fact that she was actually his stepdaughter, because the person he married was a single mom. I think he lied about her age as well. Yeah, that's really brutal. The fact that Red Pill advice in general, the new version of Red Pill, just doesn't work. Like, at least if you followed old MGTOW stuff or old Red Pill stuff, even if it was sexist or manipulative, at least it still worked. It would get you results. None of this new stuff does. And all of this is fantastical. It doesn't trace to real relationships. It doesn't even work as like manipulative pickup strategies. It's just like stuff that will never work in any way, size, shape, or form. There's just like a combination of things. That, and then like the entire Red Pill world kind of receding once the Tates ended up getting kind of kicked into jail. And then they pulled the plug on their support for the world. Yeah, there weren't very many good content creators in the Red Pill space. You kind of had Sneeko, but then he grifted off into the Muslim shit because he's retarded. You had the Tates were really big, but then the jail shit and the sex trafficking kind of hurt them. Fresh and Fit is like literally the only pillar remaining. They're trying to branch out a little bit more. Everybody else is just kind of a loser. Rolo is a loser. You can tell by looking at him. Donovan Sharpe is a loser, unfortunately. Sorry, but Pearl is a fucking loser, grifter, retard. Like, all these people are just, yeah. Not to be mean, not to be an asshole, and not to say that I told you so, okay? But I did say I would outlast all of these people. Obviously, I have, because I will continue to, because I am the cockroach. Or as they say in my Cuban heritage, La Cucaracha, El Cucaracho, that never dies, okay? El Esta no muerte. I don't know. I think it's some combination of words. I will not die, okay?
If a candidate meets a company's requirements,
They are trained and then hired temporarily to be evaluated for a certain period of time.
if the candidate successfully completes the training,
They are offered employment by the company.
but their employment is conditional,
If the employee is late too often, misses too many days, or doesn't meet the company's standards,
they're fired.
employers have every right to terminate the employees who don't measure up to the company's standards.
Is this controlling?
Of course not. The company's not forcing them to be there.
And if employees don't like the policies of a company,
Then they have every right to leave if they choose to.
and no one calls the company toxic, controlling, or insecure,
So why is it that when men express their conditions for their commitment,
they get called toxic, controlling, and possessive?
so you can respect the boundaries and requirements of your employer,
But not your man's?
you're willing to let a company evaluate you based on their experiences,
But a man can't evaluate you based on his?
you're willing to earn a position at a company,
But you're not willing to earn your position with a man?
you're willing to do what's necessary to keep your job,
But you're not willing to do what's necessary to keep your man?
you're good with the company's policy that too many absences gets you fired,
But a man withdrawing his commitment if you go to the club is toxic or possessive?
when your company trains you, it's perfectly normal.
But your man training you is somehow treating you like a dog?
Also, I fully admit I grew up a nerd, and even in today, as much as whatever, I'm still like nerdy, techie, whatever, like in that world. And I grew up in Nebraska. Genuine question though. How many people go to the club? Because when I listen to Red Pillars talk about this shit, it feels like, is that like, do 90% of girls want to go to the club? Is that like a normal thing? I don't know if in my entire life, if I've ever heard a girl say like, man, I really want to go to the club. But maybe there are some, maybe it's in some cities. I don't think I've ever heard this like string of words come out of a girl's mouth in my entire life. I want to go to the club. I've heard of like going out to like bars or going drinking or even going to like dive bars and stuff. I've never met a girl who didn't want to go to the club. Base.
You were okay with working as a temp on probation so that the company could make sure you could do the job.
But you're not okay with a man making sure that you'd be a good girlfriend before he commits?
You're good with proving your worth to your company every day.
But you're not willing to prove your worth to your man every day?
You're okay with not getting a paycheck if you don't work.
But you're not good with not getting commitment if you act single?
You understand that if you suck at your job, you're going to lose it.
But if you suck as a girlfriend and he dumps you, you lose it?
You're okay with submitting to your boss.
But submitting to your man is oppressive?
This is why relationships are a show.
Women value their jobs more than their relationships.
Are there companies out there who treat their employees poorly?
Of course there are.
And are there men out there who treat women like dog who don't deserve it?
Yes.
But what both of these scenarios have in common
Is that they're not being forced to stay in that relationship or in that job.
So if you want better employment options,
Be a better employee.
and if you want better dating options,
Then be a better woman.
nobody is entitled to their job.
And no woman is entitled to a man's commitment.
There are conditions to your employment,
And there are conditions to his commitment.
and if you can't or won't meet those conditions, find another job or another boyfriend.
But complaining that a man isn't committing to you because you don't qualify.
Is the same as complaining that a company won't hire you because you're not qualified.
So if you can understand that companies have a process because they know what works and what doesn't.
Then you can understand that men with options also have a process because they know what works and what doesn't.
If a company fails to vet, evaluate, or train a new employee.
Then that company can't be surprised when that employee turns out to be a bad apple.
Okay, I don't care anymore. Okay. Okay, wait, I'm so sorry. One more. Donovan, Sharpe, and Destiny debate the college scam.
The average man in America makes 38 grand a year.
Woo!
38 grand. The average woman in America.
Man, I was blue hairing it up and everything.
So make a
Bullshit business that they're doing. Pearl is a gross outlier. And to be honest with you, she's really not that passionate about this. She's really not. She really isn't. She really isn't. She's passionate about the people that she brings together. You know, she's passionate about. I think she's more passionate about about bringing people together. And she's very passionate about that. Getting big names in the same room. She's passionate about that. She's not passionate about this. Doing the Saucecast or doing debates or things like that. No, she's passionate about highlighting the differences between men and women, how delusional modern women are, et cetera, et cetera. Wildemar Perez Jr. with the $5 super chat says, "Yep, I make $57K, 0 certs, 0 college, but lots of common sense and hard work. I did what made money, and now I can waste money. What love? LOL. Exactly. Men, we don't have the luxury We don't have the luxury to do what we're passionate about. We really, really don't. Yeah, Mike Steele says, yep, women are more communal and are more interested in people. That's exactly right.
This is a constant conversation that we have.
I know.
Should you follow the money or should you follow your passion? Wherever those, for me, follow the money, because once you make the money, you can work on your passion.
There you go.
I did work in finance for 15 years,
There you go.
made money, and now I'm passionate about this shit. I still do my job, but this is what I'm passionate about.
Find me the story of him and the 19-year-old college girl, please, God. That's the only one. That's the only one I want. And then we're done. And then we're done with this. I know Abba and Preach covered it, but there was an original video somewhere.
This guy was a corn.
Oh, he posted it himself.
I'll tell you guys a story about the worst. I'm gonna give you guys the Reader's Digest version of the girl that I love the most. This story is it's absolutely crazy. To make a very long story very short, I started paralegal school when I was 31 years old, and there's this hot 19-year-old in my class. We took a shine to each other immediately, right?
Okay, that's not too bad. Started paralegal school. Okay, mind by a 19-year-old girl. It happens, all right? He was probably, what, 21, 22?
It was a great relationship. We spent every day together, blah, 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 blah. Red flag number one that I didn't even think about. One day, I had a headache in class because I suffer from migraines, and she recognized that. She says, what's wrong? I said, well, I've got a headache. She's like, all right.
Oh, shit, he already said his age. Oh, fuck. Yeah. He already said 30. He's 30 years old. Okay, but it happens. Okay, 30-year-old, 19-year-old, getting mind. It happens, okay? It happens.
One day, I had a headache in class because I suffer from migraines, and she recognized that. She says, what's wrong? I said, well, I've got a headache. She's like, all right. Reaches into her purse, and she gives me this big white pill. I'm like, what is that? She says, it's Vicodin. And I was like, all right. So I took the Vicodin. Headache is gone. What's a 19-year-old doing with a bag full of Vicodin, right?
More importantly, what's a 30-year-old doing just taking a Vicodin from a 19-year-old?
And I was like, all right. So I took the Vicodin. Headache is gone. What's a 19-year-old doing with a bag full of Vicodin, right?
She's a drug dealer, right?
No problem at all. Red flag number two. She had homemade tattoo on her wrist, right? Told me she got it when she was 15. Hold on. Red flag number three.
I like how these are even in the same ballpark. Okay. I mean, it's not the best idea, obviously, but I've known girls that like, oh yeah, me and my friend, when we were, we learned how to do homemade tattoos, we did a dumb thing. It's like, it happens, right? But that's not even in the same world as 19-year-olds like, oh, hey, bro, you need some Oxy? You okay? You got a headache? Let me help you out here, buddy.
Red flag number three. She had a 6-year-old. She was 19 years old.
Like, one of these things is not like the other. How much do you hate tattoos? You're like, drug dealer, homemade tattoo, and was pregnant at 12 years old. Like, how are these in the same world?
6-year-old, which means what class? She had her child at 13, which means she was having at 12. It gets even better. The baby daddy was in prison at the time we were dating.
Oh.
Statutory EPAR. Here's the reason why they didn't throw the book at him with Jessica's Law. It's because she testified to the jury that she seduced him, and the jury actually bought it. So let's set the scene. So my birthday, I open up Facebook to get all the birthday love. She left her account open on my computer on Facebook. I scrolled through, saw all kinds of stuff, drove to her place. I said, I want you to be honest with me. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me. And I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep up the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. That is the worst emotional pain I've ever felt in my life. To this day, I never will. Dude, I went to her bathroom, I puked, ripped off the necklace. She's blowing me up at work all day long. I'm sorry. I can't pick up the phone. So,
okay, it happens. 19-year-old Vicodin dealing mommy with homemade tattoos and an ex who's a felon. It happens, okay? Even when you're 30, okay? We're not perfect, all right? But, they cheat on you, you live, you learn. And you don't repeat those same mistakes.
Sorry, I can't pick up the phone. So finally, I picked up the phone. She's like, hey, I'm sorry, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, da-da-da-da. She's like, look, I want to come to your place. I have a birthday surprise for you. So she comes over, she has like this little cupcake, and she bought me a watch that she knew I was looking at. Then she turns around and lifts up her shirt. There was my name tattooed on the small of her back. Dude, my hand to the man. So I was back in her clutches. Things went.
Oh, well, I mean.
It was all downhill from there. Guys, this story gets so much worse.
How old were you?
I was 31. I was 31 years old. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 17.
Oh, no. So she continued cheating on me, right? So I'm always trying to catch her. I lost my job. I lost the place that I was at. The car that I had was paid for because I paid cash for it. It broke down. I didn't have a job, so I couldn't get it fixed. I'm evicted. I ended up having to live with a couple of her drug addict friends in a quasi crack house. Both people were on felony probation.
What?
You can't make this up. Both people, the guy and the girl, were on probation for felony possession. They were on felony probation, ankle bracelets, the whole nine. And so I lived there, and so I had to live there, right? And so finally, and I kept trying to get back with her. September 16th, baby daddy gets out of prison. Okay, baby daddy gets out of prison. I called her up on September 15th. I said, you know what? I can't do it. I think you still love Ben. I can't do it anymore. Dude, she cried her eyes out, hung up the phone. I stayed up all night long. I couldn't sleep. So I called her up. I called her up the next day. I was like, hey, meet me at this gas station. Then I called up my brother and I borrowed $800.
Oh no. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? One more time.
Meet me at this gas station. Then I called up my brother.
Do you think that's a sound effect they have in the background, like as a meme?
The next day, I was like, hey, meet me at this gas station. Then I called up my brother and I borrowed $800. He gave me $800. I went to the jewelry store. I bought her a ring, proposed to her. I proposed. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, it gets worse. It gets worse. I swear to God. People wonder why I speak with such conviction about these things, dude. Look,
Jesus Christ, Donovan.
It gets worse. It gets worse. So she says yes, right? So now, all of her friends are like, oh, she's getting engaged. Well, eventually she started fucking the baby daddy behind my back. Of course. So we were in this love triangle.
Listen, if you want an advanced, okay, I'm gonna give you, ordinarily, despite how retarded my subreddit is and despite how dumb other communities are, okay, most of my relationship advice is just bog standard shit that anybody that's not fucking retarded will tell you, okay? Most of it's bog standard shit. Now, however, I'm gonna give you some experimental shit, okay? Keep this in the back of your head. You don't have to believe everything I say, okay? You don't even have to believe this, but keep this in the back of your head, all right? These are advanced level, mind thoughts, all right? If you are dating somebody, and they were dating somebody, and that person broke up with them, this is getting a little stalkerish, but it's good to just have an awareness of their ex and that person's relationships, because if you're ever in a situation where it seems like your ex or your current dating person is all of a sudden interested in somebody that they were dating before they got dumped by who became single, those situations, it's time to get the fuck out immediately. You can vibe that out and feel it immediately. If you see that, if you sense that, you gotta dip. You gotta dip the fuck out. Don't ever fight that, okay? You'll always lose. All right, that's just as a warning, all right? Some people will disagree with that. Some people say, no, they've moved on. They haven't moved on. Unless you're like 14, 15, that's when they were dating. If you're past 20, once you're past 18 years old, everything is set in stone. People cannot change. They don't change. They never change, okay? Don't waste your life, all right? Be careful. Be careful on that.
Anytime she was pissed off at me, she'd go and fuck him. Anytime she was pissed off at him, she would come and fuck me. So finally on
that's based.
Thanksgiving, I had to call my brother. My family this was in North Carolina. My brother comes out into this quasi crack house and he's kind of looking around and they're all looking up at him like, that's your brother? And of course we look alike. And so I'll never forget, man. I'm telling my brother about the situation. He's like, my real name's Alex. He says, Alex, what are you doing? And I said to him, dude, you don't choose who you love. I still loved her. So he drives me back after Thanksgiving dinner. This girl calls me up and tells me that she was now engaged to be married to Ben, right? I'm crushed, I'm heartbroken, I'm crestfallen. I'm doing pills, I'm doing drugs.
From the time that you recognized the tattoo and she had
I'm doing pills, I'm doing drugs.
What? Crestfallen. I'm doing pills, I'm doing drugs.
From the time that you recognized the tattoo and she had a 6-year-old to this time, how long has time progressed?
I met her.
Tim Pool tried to critique Dawkins on trigonometry for his take on free will. Wait, what? Link me that.
the first day of the second semester, so right, January. So this happened between January. This happened in one calendar year. So I'm telling you, can't make this stuff up. So now I've lost her forever. So now I'm doing drugs and all this other kind of stuff. During the time I was living at that quasi crack house, they were telling me, yeah, she this guy, that guy. During the summer, she lost an exorbitant. She was already a small girl. Yeah. She lost an exorbitant amount of weight. I found out that she was shooting heroin all summer long. I had no idea. She kept, dude, it was unbelievable. So anyway, New Year's Day comes.
All considered, is that really that unbelievable?
Around. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up. December 10th, the guy. So it's a boyfriend and girlfriend in the crack house. The guy, I was at the library. Listen, the probation officer arrested the guy. So then he's in jail for probation violation. So it's just me and his girlfriend. I had no interest in her. It was not like that at all. Well, he was feeling some type of way about the fact that I was staying there. So he called his landlord and told him that I was staying there without their permission. New Year's Day, little Jamaican man comes to the door. He points at me. He's like, you don't live here. And if you're not out of here by 9 o'clock the next morning, the sheriff will come and put you out. Called my brother again. I was like, dude, I'm going to be homeless. So he bought me a bus ticket to Atlanta, and I go down to Atlanta where my mother and brother were living, and kind of started over then. So I lived.
If what happened to this guy happened to you, what would you have done differently? If you're being crazy, it's okay to be crazy sometimes. You just have to have an awareness that you're being crazy, and don't make any huge commitments, okay? It's okay to fuck up if you know you're fucking up. That's okay. That's the idea you got. As long as you know you're fucking up, then fuck up. It's when you don't know that you're fucking up that you're really fucking up, okay?
Lived in Atlanta for 6 months, decided to...
You think the story's made up? It's just so ridiculous to be in this situation? I mean, it could be made up, but it also, like, when people get really obsessed with people, especially if they feel like they don't have a lot of options, people are very easy to manipulate, especially in relationships. Especially women can do it really well. Men probably can too. I just don't have experience dating men. But I imagine, like, if you got a person that you liked at least at one point in time and they're being like, oh, please, like, one more chance, like, come on, it'll be different. Like, there's a huge part of you that wants to believe this thing. So...
my mother and brother were living, and kind of started over then. So I lived in Atlanta for 6 months, decided to move to Vegas. That's a whole big long story. A couple of months into living in Vegas, I get a phone call from a mutual friend of ours, me and the girls, right? And she's like, you are never going to believe this. I was like, well, what happened? She said, Ben is dead. I was like, this is her husband now, right? The baby daddy. They got married. She says, Ben is dead. Here's what happened. 2 weeks after she married this guy, she started having an affair, right? She started cheating on him.
She's a lovely lady.
Dude. So the story goes is that he gave her $20 to go out and get Chinese food. She took her daughter with her, goes to the guy's house, calls him up and says, hey, I'm leaving you and I'm gonna be here with this guy with the daughter. Of course, he loses his mind. He drives out to the trailer. He starts kicking in the door. The guy on the other side of the door says, if you kick down this door, I am going to shoot you. He kicked down the door and caught a shotgun slug to the chest, done and killed immediately. It gets even worse.
Who even keeps shotgun slugs for home defense? Jesus Christ. Would those over-penetrate like crazy? Would that just explode out your chest? Or do those, I don't even know what the ballistics are like on a shotgun slug.
They had to put an ankle bracelet on her because they suspect that she might be the shooter, right? Let's back up one more time. And again, this is all relevant. This is when I still had my car. I'm driving to her place from work. I get to her place, and there are 3 cop cars in the driveway. I'm thinking it's because of something that happened next door, because the dude was always...
He probably doesn't mean slug, he's retarded. Oh, true, actually.
On his girl, right? That's the kind of place this was. The cops were at her place. She got arrested for possession. The people I was staying with had called the cops and ratted her out. So now she's in jail, right? And of course, I have to save my fair maiden. I called up an old roommate and borrowed $1,350 to bail her out. She gets out. I love you. Then goes right back to Ben. So now we fast forward.
You said Ben was dead.
Yeah, wait. I thought Ben just got killed. Or did Ben kill the other guy?
I backed up.
He backed up.
He backed up.
This was before.
Oh, okay.
So you bailed out.
Yep.
Shotguns are way better for home defense than a pistol. Pistols miss like 80% of the time. If you're missing 80% of the time with a pistol, why do you think you're going to hit more often with a shotgun? Your best bet for home defense is your best bet is a rifle. You need AR-15. That's the big boy. Home defense gun. Okay. Just make sure you don't have any neighbors, or make sure your house is made of brick or something on the outside, because you're gonna shoot through your house like crazy.
The young lady who had left you to go back, and when you You borrowed the
back
money.
and forth. It was back and forth.
You borrowed the money, so you had to pay back this money to someone else who has nothing to do with the situation. And then she went back straight while she had the tattoo of you on her.
Yep.
Okay, keep going. I got like 15 questions to ask you when this is.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So now we fast forward. So Ben is now dead. I don't know how they got away with it, but he's not the guy's not in jail. She ends up marrying the guy that killed Ben and had another daughter. So in the end,
This was the
Jesus. Shotgun has area of effect. You don't even need to aim. That is not true. Those are video game shotguns, my friend.
original baby daddy.
the original baby daddy is dead. The original baby daddy.
Ben was the original baby.
Ben was the original baby daddy.
Okay.
But the lovely lady went to the guy who killed Ben.
And now, okay.
So
God
and so
damn.
now, so he ended up.
He killed for love. Why wouldn't you go to that guy? He was the alpha male. He defeated your last husband, so obviously he gets you next.
Marrying the guy who killed her first husband, had another daughter with him. So the father of her first child was killed by the father of her second child. You cannot make this up. And so this is why people always wonder why I'm so passionate and I'm so sure. I have seen the worst. I've been in the worst of the worst situations. It is the worst situation I have ever been in. But to this day, I can freely admit that I have never loved anyone or anything as much as I loved her. And that is my story.
I need this girl to give some girl game. She's getting rings left and right.
She have viscous innards made of plutonium.
It certainly felt like it. It certainly felt like it. The girl, like
I just want to know.
She was 19. She was 19. She was hot. Had a southern twang. I mean, it was
we can hate, but she's gotten more proposals than I have.
Proposals from guys who were clearly either simping or who had gone to jail for having relations with her at 12 years old.
Shotguns are almost always recommended for home defense, but you should also have a shorter gun as well. Other types of gun/rounds will go straight through American walls. That's why you use subsonic ammo and a suppressor and a silencer. The reason why is so that when multiple people are breaking into your home, the bad guys can't even hear you killing their accomplices, okay? And you don't have to worry about overpenetration, all right? Okay. Good break. Good diversion. Rip Donovan Sharpe. We will miss you. You can still hear silenced. As long as you're shooting subsonic ammo and you have a silencer on the gun and you have Alexa rigged up to play Darude Sandstorm, as soon as you scream code 0 and then you time your shots with the beats, they'll never know. You'll be undetected. What about when 30 Democrats in Klan hoods show up? That's when you gotta get the guns for your kids too, all right?